So the EFL League 2 campaign is just around the corner, and of course I want to showcase where I think each one of the 24 teams will end their campaign when May comes around. But of course, who's going to go up? Who's going to go down? We're going to take a little look at it, all of it, next. That's right, folks. Bounce Game on a prediction video. Today, of course, we're finally going there. We're going to League 2, that's right. Predicting each and every one of the teams from hit to shit, that's right. And we'll tell you where they're going to end up at the end of the season in May. Of course, if you're new, where you've been, smash your subscribe button back. All things League 2 related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related. We're going to all here, boys, under one brewski. That's right, of course, League 2 campaign just days away now. Of course, will the likes of the Vegans, they're back, of course. Will they bounce back at the first attempt? Or will Hollywood FC, that's right, Wrexham, of course, steamroll the division? We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Of course, big shout out to some VRPs. You know who you are. The patrons, that's right. Let's, of course, get into it. If you want to help out the channel, check out the link down below. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. That's right. So here we are in the old vortex once again. Of course, I didn't manage to get the video out there, my early door squeaky clean video of League 2. So this is our first look at League 2, and I'm excited to do just that. I want to let you know, full disclosure right here, we're back, Prediction League, 100% League 2. So if you are a fan of any one of these clubs, come back on a weekly basis or even a bi-weekly basis, as of course the leagues pick up some steam. So here we go then, and let's have a little look. We start from the middle of the road here, work our way down, and then, of course, we work our way to the tip of the top to see who's going up to League 1. Here we go then. So let's waste no more time. Let's not waste no more time. Starting to 13th spot, and it is the Vegans. That's right, Forest Green Rovers. They return, of course. A bit of a weird stuff going on in the summer. Hiring a female head coach for what appeared to be a couple of weeks. So they got that in the record books. First female head coach of the season. That's in there. Forest Green Rovers. They're trying to reinvent the wheel in some regards. But the real head coach, David Horseman, coming in to what is going to be a bit of a I don't know, major transitional season. Of course, Duncan Ferguson couldn't do it last season. Mission impossible it was. But bringing the likes of James Searle from Barnsley, Matty Taylor from Oxford, Luke Daniels, another good goalkeeper there for them, bit of competition. Also balancing that with the loss of Sean O'Brien, Ben Stevenson, Ross Doohan, of course, to Aberdeen. So yeah, bit of a wobbly season I'm expecting for Forest Green. Not really to impress, but of course they'll be safe as houses though. So the Veggie Burgers and Co. safe for me in 13th. Into 14th spot now we have MK Dons. That's right. Now managed by Graham Alexander. Now I could get this absolutely wrong. He is a fantastic coach at this level. Been there, seen it, and done it, of course. But can he turn this ship around? We shall see about that. I've gone playing it safe and just middle of the road. MK Dons so close to Championship football a couple of seasons back. Now, of course, mid-table obscurity in League 2. Bringing in the likes of Craig McGavery from Burton, Cameron Norman from Newport County, MJ Williams, and of course, a couple of guys from Charlton, Ghibli and Harness. To add to the coffers. Losing, of course, Will Grigg to Chesterfield, Bradley Johnson going back to Derby, Seneca Kai as well, some other players, Joshua Kekrin. So a bit of a turnaround in players, but good man in charge. He's their major signing. So big season coming at you for MK. If anyone can do it, he can do it, but I just don't feel it. Into 15th spot we go now, and it is Grimsby Town. That's right, the Grims. What's their nickname, Daddy? I can't remember. But anyway, still got Paul Hurst, fantastic manager. They're going in the right direction. I just feel they're a little light in players. They have been busy. They're bringing in the likes of Danny Rose, Charles Vernon coming at you from Lincoln City, Abu Issa, big exciting player from Bradford City as well. Jake Eastwood, goalkeeper. Some good players have been around the block a little bit, but know their way around these divisions. So if they get it right, they'll do very, very well. I just feel they're a little bit shy in certain areas of the field. So all right though, Grimsby Town, not really kicking forward, but I'm sure they won't be too disgruntled with 15th spot. I think that the wind is in their favour. Give it a couple more seasons and they'll be pushing for League 1. But I don't think it's going to be this campaign. Into 16th spot, it is Crewe, that's right. Managed by Lee Bell this campaign. Bringing in the likes of Ryan Cooney from Morecambe, Jack Power from Crawley, Mickey Dubadetro from Newport County. Also losing the likes of Danny Jai, going to Leighton Orient, of course, Kelvin Malagona, Acton Stanley, just swapping shirts there really in the division. Again, not much to get excited about. Crewe, bit of a dampness at the moment. If they can get momentum under their wings, you just don't know. Because there was a couple of spots in this division that I think are up for grabs playoffs wise, but I just think Crewe are not going to have that surprise factor in this division. Moving to 17th now, and it's Colchester United. Of course, a managerial spot still open as of recording. Of course, transfer-wise, there have been some transfers. Ilissa Daniel coming in from Swindon Town, Kelly Green from Arsenal, Ronnie Nelson from Leicester City, some youngster free transfers, Archie Oliver as well from West Brom. Losing the likes of Freddie Sears, Harvey Sayer. They do Alan Judge as well. They still do have Junior Dashmandu, probably their most sellable asset. But again, no coach to make that decision. So going into the season so late without a real head coach smells disaster. So we could even see them towards the bottom end, real bottom of the thing, following the likes of Rochdale, following the likes of Southend United, established EFL clubs going into the non-league. So hold that phone there. Colchester United could be in trouble. Joining them down there will be, for me, the Welsh boys, the other Welsh boys, you would say now in this division. Newport County manager Graham Coughlin, formerly Rover, way back when. Of course, coming out to bring in the likes of Carl Jameson from Tranmere Rovers, Brian Morris from Grimsby, a couple of Irish boys. Of course, Coughlin is Irish. Shane McLaughlin, Ryan Delaney, and Josh Sheeby. Can the Irish factor get them driving forward? Not many players going out, according to my knowledge anyway. But of course, Coughlin got a bit of work to do. Joe Day between the sticks, one of the better hands in this division between the sticks. But unfortunately for me, not much going forward for Coughlin as they pin the hopes on a manager who's still trying to find his feet. Next up, of course, that's Newport County. We have 19th, it's the Dons, AFC Wimbledon. That's right, of course, managed by Johnny Jackson. That's right. Again, keeping some holders of key players, massive for them, of course, in the attacking departments. Ali Al-Hamadi, of course, where is he from? The Iraqi international, formerly of Wycombe Wanderers. Keeping holding massive, keeping the heart. They've got Omar Bogle as well. Omar Bugle. So Ubu is a different one up front. Nick Tanzev as well, linked with Rovers this summer, but still there between Alex Pearce, veteran at the back there, 34 years of age, formerly of Wimbledon, formerly of Millwall, but of course bringing also Jack Greaves, James Ball as well. So some key players there, key players brought in, losing, of course, a couple of other familiar faces, David Fisher, Chris Gunter retired, Yaboa, some familiar names and unfamiliar names losing. But Johnny Jackson, again, does not really inspire me in the managerial department. So a season of woe for Wimbledon for me. Into 20th spot now, we've got Barrow, did a fantastic season last season. Peter Wild, fantastic. Where did they finish up last time? 9th. I think it was hit or miss for them. If they weren't going to do it last season, they might die trying. And I think this is going to be the repercussions of that fantastic season last time around. Again, not relegated, but definitely a sort of a hangover from last season's triumphs of 9th. I just think that they're not going to be as good as they were last season. They have been busy bringing in the likes of a lot of free transfers. David Worrell, Jamie Proctor, of course, Dean Campbell as well. But Peter Wild is, again, their main asset is their manager. Fantastic coach at this level. If anyone's going to surprise me, it's going to be him. Very tight, small squad still, but working on very small budgets as well. So Barrow, for me, struggling, but be all right. In the end. Into 21st spot, a team that might not be all right. It's Sutton United, of course, managed by Matt Gray. Is that the former Blackburn Rover, Matt Gray? Let me see. No, it's not. It's he's bloody younger than me. Of course, coming at you, bringing in the likes of Josh Conley from Exeter City, Craig Clay as well, Scott Kasich from Gillingham, some tried and trusted local-ish kind of players, but also losing the likes of Bugle, of course, to Wimbledon. Luke Gambin been released as well. Some other players been let go to do other things. Sam Hart, former Rover, in the back line there for Sutton United. But again, Sutton are struggling. They were struggling last season. If the season was a few weeks longer, they could have been even more close to the drop. So for me, they're struggling this time around. 21st spot for Sutton United. Into 22nd spot, again, unlucky for Sutton. This was tricky. I just couldn't find a spot for Walsall. They've got the I think the manager, Matt Sadler, but there's something weary about Walsall this time around. So I just can't place them. This is where I could be completely wrong. I have them down there in 23rd spot or 22nd spot, whatever it is, just about safe from relegation. I just don't feel it. I just can't see them towards the top. So again, this is where you can come back and shove pie in my face, preferably peach pie. I like a bit of peach pie. So, but yeah, just don't feel it for them. But it could be completely wrong, and they could run away with the league. You just don't know. But for me, they are going to be just safe by the claws of their fingers. To 22nd for me. Into 23rd though, Crawley Town. They've just escaped it last season, but this time no bueno. Scott Lindsay, but the gaffer these days, bringing the likes of Liam Kelly from Rochdale. Of course, didn't really work out for him. Rochdale, some other non-league players as well. Joy McCuna from St Albans. So yeah, the budget's not there for Grimsby, and they're competing with some bigger boys, and much bigger boys this time around. A lot of backing as well from some of these are smaller, bigger clubs in the same sort of tier. So Crawley will struggle. I think they're not going to make it this time around. Today, they're going down, babies. And to join them alongside them will be Harrogate. Harrogate, of course, been in the division for a few seasons. Simon Weaver between, not the sticks anymore, is, of course, in the dugout. That's right. So Simon Weaver, Harrogate Town going down, bringing in, though, key players. James Daly from Woking, Matt Daly, the Daly brothers. I don't think they're related. Liam Gibson as well. So it doesn't inspire me. There's no standout superstar players that are going to get me off my seat and say, you know what, we're going to be all right this time around. So Harrogate Town going down. That's right. So that's my back end of the table. We have 13th sorted all the way down to 24th. What about the top end of the table? Well, we're going to go into that area right here, right now, starting with 12th spot in my eyes. And for me, that's Tranmere Rovers, of course, managed by Ian Dawes this campaign, bringing in some players such as Christian Dennis, Regan Hendry from Forest Green Rovers, Connor Jennings as well. Again, not many expiring signings to get to say, you know what, this team's going places as well. But they do have some familiar names. Kane Hemmings is in there, of course. Samuel Saylor coming through the academy. Got Reece McClear, Josh Hawks there. So, you know, some familiar names from times gone by, but just, you know, Joe Murphy still between the sticks, 41 years of age now, veteran there. He's just as old as I am, or nearly. So I think they're a little bit weak at the back, but they'll still be in the mix. Of course, you would expect that from Tranmere this campaign. So into 11th spot now we go, and it is Salford City. That's right. Still managed by Neil Wood. He's survived the axe from Gary Neville. Of course, bringing in players as well from the summer. Got Luke Garber coming from Blackpool, Alex Cairns from Fleetwood Town. Not many faces coming in, but the likes of Jason Lowe going to Port Vale. Matty Sargent being released as well. Some other familiar faces, some veterans as well. To leaving them to go off to pastures. New Callum Hendry, the goals from him will be massive. Matty Smith as well, formerly of Millwall, will also be massive for them. They have got the firepower for sure, but have they got the nous in the managing department? I don't know. I just don't think so. So I think you can succeed with both of them, but I don't know if you either the manager's shit or your firepower's wank, then you're going to struggle. So 11th spot though for Salford. They have the firepower, but just not enough to get them into the playoffs. It's a 10th spot though, Cloughie's boys. That's right, Nigel Clough still here. He's done fantastic over the past few seasons, but the last season was a little bit of a struggle for them. Bringing in though, likes of Will Swan from Nottingham Forest, George Williams from Cambridge, Callum McDonald from Bristol Rovers, losing just a handful of players, not too much turnaround. So the tight unit's still there, but I just think this division this season is very difficult. So teams that you would imagine to be regulars will struggle, and these guys are regulars, and they will struggle, of course. So 10th spot for me, for these guys, Mansfield Town. Into 9th spot is Swindon Town, that's right, managed by Michael Flynn, of course. The goals, of course, from Charlie Austin. Is he still there? He is still there. 34 years of age, will be massive. He hit a few. He was only there a bit part of the season, and this guy could be the difference factor between outside the playoffs and inside the playoffs. I've got him just outside, I think, according to my brains, but Russian Hepburn Murphy, big fan of him, exciting prospect, even though he's, still, 24 years of age. He might be getting on a little bit in that regard, but still exciting, can get you off your seat kind of player. Bringing the likes of Oscar Massey, we've got Johnny Williams going from Gillingham. Oh, their players going out. Players going out. Johnny Williams going to Gillingham is a loss for Swindon. But Michael Flynn, experienced at this level, can be a difference maker. And, of course, the goals from Austin will be monumental. So just shy 9th for Swindon Town. Also just shy is Gillingham. a season to forget last season, but of course keeping Neil Harris, who's been very, very busy and very, very exciting in the transfer market for Gillingham, bringing Max Clark from Stevenage, bringing in, of course, Scott Malone from Millwall, Johnny Williams from Swindon Town. So some exciting players, Conor Masterson from QPR, that could be the difference. They did lose a few other ones as well, but for me, I'm tipping them to have a much better season this time around with Neil Harris, who, is not the most riveting of managers, but I think he's going to do all right this campaign, and I think they're going to have a season to remember. Just a little bit shy, though, for me in my eyes. But into the 7th spot we go, into playoff territory, and it's these guys, the new guys, once again, one of the oldest, if not the oldest team. I think they are the oldest team in the world. It is Notts County, of course, managed by Luke Williams. Had to do it the hard way last season, but of course they got there in the end, thank heavens, because I think they bloody deserved it. Bringing in the likes of Willie Randell, David McGoldrick, Jody Jones, Daniel Crowley as well. Of course, losing a couple of players, but I still think exciting times are afoot for these. Macaulay Langstaff is still on the books. He was linked with Plymouth and some other teams as well, but he's still there. However, the transfer window is wide open for at least another month, so we'll see how they get on. But keeping a hold of him will be massive, and if they do so, they could compete once again for the glory spots. So for me, Notts County in the playoffs for 7th spot. Joining them, though, will be 6th spot, be Morecambe. That's right, Derek Adams still remains at the Mazuma Mobile Stadium, of course. It didn't work out for him last season with Morecambe. I can't really see the transfer activity. So let me back it up a hair. And if it shows me the team in here, current squad. Tom Bloxham from Shrewsbury, they brought him in. Young gun, Jon Sonongo, of course, to the Charlie Brown, Jacob Davenport. That's a big signing at this level. Still a little tight on the squad, small squad. Jordan Slew is listed with ex-players from Blackburn Rovers in the mix, of course. But Derek Adams, again, is the key man for me. Did hard times at Bradford, did wonders for Morecambe, left to go to Bradford, and then, of course, try to bring them back to survival, but unfortunately, no. So it ain't going to be pretty, but it's going to be, of course, business-like performance for Morecambe for me, and they are into 6th spot. Into 5th spot, Accrington Stanley, and that's right, every day. John Coleman, of course, still there. If anybody can do it, he can, of course. Just the one player brought in, according to my eyes, Kelvin Miller, losing a whole bunch of players, though, as they try to cut some costs across the board. So they're going to have to do it hard, but I still think they've got the right man to do it. And of course, we'll see some breakthrough players come through the ranks as they try to shake things up a little bit. So for me, Accrington Stanley will surprise a few. And for me, I've got them into 5th spot. Into 4th spot, the final playoff spot, we have Doncaster Rovers by Grant McCann. I think this is going to be an exciting season for them. I think they're going to be a little too shy for the automatics, but they're going to be in the mix. They're going to battle to the bitter end. Brought in the likes of Joe Ironside from Cambridge, Richard Wood from Rotherham, big signing that is at the back there, Jamie Sterry from Hartlepool as well. Jack Senior, Ian Lawler, losing the likes of course, Roshan Williams, Kieran Agard as well. But I think they got the right man back at the helm, Grant McCann, to steer this sleeping giant maybe of Doncaster Rovers back towards the big time. But just shy though, into 4th spot. Into 3rd spot, it is Hollywood FC. It's Deadpool FC. It is, of course, Wrexham. That's right. Into 3rd, I've got them now this campaign. Transfers wise, bit quiet. All the talk of all these big signings they'll make. Phil Jones was even banded around. I was like, what the fuck's going on there? But anyway, Will Boyle's the only guy coming in from Huddersfield Town at the moment. Maybe they'll wait to do some crazy end of the season drama. Ben Foster, of course, remains. They released a bunch of players as well, but keeping a hold of the likes of course, Paul Mullen, who has been injured in pre-season. Not too sure how bad he is injured, but they are looking to bring in Norburn or something like that from Barnsley as a replacement. So they haven't gone anywhere yet with the transfers big time. So we'll see if they make some sudden moves, but I do expect the momentum to roll with Hollywood FC. 2 automatics, and they will squeak in 3rd in my eyes at a very, very competitive League Two campaign. Into 2nd spot now, we have got Bradford City. I'm tipping them again. I always tip them. Maybe I should just not tip them anymore. But of course, Sparky's boys, he's still there. Of course, I think they'll do it this time around. They have lost, of course, a few key players. Jan Sonongo's gone to Morecambe. Charlie Wood's gone out the door as well. Brought in the likes of Clark Adore from Barnsley, Ash Taylor from Kilmarnock. But they still have, of course, on the books now Matty Derbyshire, first full season for him back in English football. Harry Chapman, of course, there. Smallwood, is he still there? He is, of course. And some other players, ex-Rovers, Matthew Platt, Luke Hendry, was he? No, we had Stephen Hendry, didn't we, at the back there, of course. But yeah, I do anticipate something special now. Come on then. Second season syndrome for Bradford City. They were a little bit shit last season, but the goals are still there in, of course, Andy Cook. So with him scoring, they'll be on the right track. But of course, they will not stop this runaway train, and that is Stockport County. Of course, playoff heartbreak for Dave Chandler's boys. But I just think this season around, they're going to get it right on the money. Of course, bringing in this time around Nick Powell from Stoke City, big signing, losing the likes of Phil Barnes, Jacob Davenport, Ryan Johnson as well, Scott Quigley going to non-league football. But yes, Stockport County will have the nous, they'll have the desire, they'll have the bit between the teeth. Again, they could strengthen maybe the back four a little bit as we roll into the back end of July here. So for me, Stockport County, very, very close. To near perfection, but I just think they need a few more bodies to guarantee it. So for me, Stockport County will be the team destined for League One football next season. They'll be joined by Bradford City and Deadpool FC, but the playoffs will be competing with Doncaster, Accrington Stanley, Morecambe and Notts County. Going down though, Crawley and Harrogate Town. In the middle though, that's the rest of the pack. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, and I want to reiterate what I said at the start of the show here. We will be doing 100% predictions for League Two. We will not miss a beat. I'll record it on the toilet if I have to. I'll be there, and hopefully you'll be there too. We'll have an interactive prediction league, probably in the shape of a Google form. If you've been a regular for this channel, you know what I mean. If you're not, just stand by, just follow the directions. You'll have some fun, and maybe you'll be tip at the top of the table at the end of the campaign. We're back 100%, and hopefully you guys are too. Until then, subscribe, thumbs up, and of course we'll be back for the first game of the season, not very far away. Until then, I'm out.